We are live. We are live from Vegas here at AAPEX. It is an exciting week, continually offering, bringing on some of the best in the industry, from Rostar Filters, Schade, down to industry professionals across, meeting here in Vegas across the board. It's thrilled to look at kind of what we have in the future. But first and foremost, it's exciting to bring on Rostar Filters, Schade.
Hi, Gideon.
How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man.
How has the week been? I know this is already a crazy week for everybody. All your buddies come together, and
yeah, we got our pallet in late last night. There was a moment where we didn't think it was going to make it on time. we kind of thought, well, we may be up at 2 a.m. putting this thing together. But the convention center did a great job. The folks here are great.
Yeah.
They put an expedited rush on it, got it to us. We were done setting up by 6 p.m. and ready to rock and roll.
I will say, we've talked to a lot of people already this week. I know it's an early week still. Shout out to the staff here in this show. I no one's really called that out, and I'm glad you did, because we got here, the staff here in the Venetian, I guess the expo, have been fantastic. And so shout out to that Auto Care Association. I think they do a great job setting this up in AAPEX. Yeah, that's good. So walk us through. I know, we have a lot of people listening in on what's going on in Vegas, what's happening in Vegas. It's the hotbed of the week, right? Everyone shows up. But Chris, walk us through a little bit about what you guys are doing with Rostar and what that future looks like, and giving our listeners an idea of who that is.
Absolutely. Well, of course, it's election day in America, right? And so, I think the big thing that's on everyone's mind is exactly that. What is Rostar doing? And I am here to clear up some of that today. And that other stuff can wait. I've told several people today that Rostar is the best filter manufacturer you've never heard of. If you've ever gone to a quick lube, or you've ever done your own oil change, or if you've ever bought a filter in an auto parts store, there's a pretty good chance it's a Rostar, honestly. You wouldn't know it because it's in somebody else's box, maybe has somebody else's name on it. We don't make a big deal of that. We don't advertise that. We very quietly supply a lot of the people that supply consumers quick lubes.
I'm seeing monster names on here.
Yeah, we don't talk about who buys from us, but there are names that are absolutely the best in the industry and super reputable. And so happy and so proud to be supplying those folks. And we do it every day. That
is awesome. When I got in the industry, I was intrigued at how many nuances kind of go on behind the scenes, right? You pull into a quick lube, you pull into a service bay. I mean, your products in the filtration business, right? You're primarily in a high turn service bay, right? The quick lubes, the guys that are in and out, right? You put a cabin air filter in, and off you go with your day. Walk us through a little bit about that. I mean, when we look at what's important to when you look at that kind of piece of the business, what's important in the filtration side?
Well, I should have prefaced this by saying our bread and butter, our core business is cabin air filters. So we make cabin air filters in the United States. I can't imagine more than a couple of companies are doing that on a aftermarket level in the U.S. So we're differentiated in that respect. We don't make all filters. We do a very good job at cabin air filters. We source some filters for people that come asking for them, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Why people would do that, come to us. But cabin air filter manufacturing is, like you said, very relevant. It's high turnover. It's still one of the fastest growing segments of replacement parts. Oh, sure. I don't know that. Every year, it seems to grow at a rate faster than some of the other components. And it kind of stands to reason. There's more vehicle population. Yeah. Vehicles are staying on the road longer. And it's a high service item. And a lot of people don't replace a cabin air filter often enough, or in a lot of cases don't even know they have it in their vehicle.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
I've pulled a few out that were like, oh my God.
It's amazing. I mean, there's YouTube channels dedicated to mechanics pulling out filters and then, showing how awfully dirty they are. And
let's pull it out more so that you can sell more product.
Yeah, you can, it's nothing to see a guy with a $150,000 car and a cabin air filter that's never been changed, and it's not moving any air through.
Honey,
right?
I don't know why I'm always sick when I'm driving my car. Exactly. Maybe you should change your cabin air filter.
So exactly, yeah. I don't understand why no heat or air is coming out either. We used to have a car, my wife and I. That
call Chris.
We knew by the smell when it was time to change it. It would smell like musty, when we get in the morning and start it up. We like, I think it needs another filter. That was our big trick.
See, my problem is I just think it's my two girls in the back that have been sweating all day. They stink. They're annoying.
Yeah. It's either soccer practice just got over or New Coke. Sure. We could go on all day.
Stupid dog.
To be serious, we're in a great spot. Cabin as filters go, I would much rather make and sell cabin air filters than any other one. If you can believe me, and you think there's any truth to it, I'll tell you this: we're a little less commoditized than all the others. Even though there's a ton of players and it's a crowded space,
sure,
we do enjoy that less commoditization, maybe a little better marketplace placement and
I think when you look at where these are being manufactured at, so if we start to look at plants here in the U.S., right? You guys are strong, manufactured in North America. I mean, you guys stand by that. I mean, that's a big part of your business.
100%. As I said, you're hard pressed to find people that are making anything in this country,
for sure.
Much less something of this nature. But people still put value on made in the USA. Sometimes you hear people say, is that really a thing that people are interested in? I can tell you it is, because customers come to us and say, whatever happens at the end of the day, the package has got to say made in the USA.
Yeah.
We got a space for it on the box. This is what we want to say. And I honestly fight with myself sometimes. Do people really care? Well, yeah, they do care. Nearshoring and onshoring, we know that's a real thing. It's been going on since COVID ended. We're already here. We've been here for 30 years doing it. And the other thing is that it's so much easier as a supplier to be in control of your lead time and your minimum order quantities. Like, we're not buying container loads of stuff. We're making what we need to make. And
you're closer to the relationship too.
Yeah.
You're closer to the end consumer. I mean, I think, I grew up in North America, in Texas. I buy a lot of products, and I think that it's a differentiator in a world that we live in right now. I think it's a strong differentiator.
Okay.
And I've talked. I think, although you look at Rostar, and sure, you guys do manufacturing for a lot of great brands, but what I've always kind of read and researched and learned from you is that the quality, standing behind the quality every single day, day in and day out, is almost a core pillar of Rostar. And I think that kind of breeds a lot of the future success. Once you look down the pipeline, and we're really good at this.
Yeah.
Really good. We're specialized in this. We're remarkable. This is what we do. We're fantastic in this. We're not fantastic in everything.
That's right.
We're fantastic in this.
We're trying to maintain that core focus, and we're trying to lever that made in the USA value and that concept more and more every day.
Yeah.
And it's working. It's working. If you go to certain customers, they will say, we like dealing with Rostar.
Yeah.
When among other things, but because we're made.
One of the taglines that you guys have is like, okay, partner solve delight, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a big tagline guy. I mean, not tagline, but you kind of live by a code, right? Yeah. And I'll give you an example. I was in college. I was playing baseball. I remember after my first year, I was playing behind a guy, and I literally wrote on my cap, man, never give up. And now I'm 39 years old. I live by that rule, man. If things get tough, if whatever, there just is no die in me. But the reason I say that is, from Rostar's perspective, partner solve and delight. It's a very simple saying. Walk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Partner solve is delight. Partner solve delight is what we call our proven process.
Yeah.
This is the thing that's worked for us year over year for 30 plus years. Yeah. We finally were able to put it into words. It's something we've kind of been playing with over the years, but what makes us successful? What do we have to do time and again to replicate that success? And what do we have to do to grow in the future? Took a minute, but we finally distilled it down into 3 simple words. Yeah. Partner, solve, and delight. Yeah. And to walk you through it, partner really points to our core values. We seek customers that exhibit and inherit and have our same core values. And there's 5 of them, but the one that resonates with me when we're looking for partners is excellence.
Totally.
We want to talk to people who are excellent with what they do. That involves growth mindset. Are we growing or are we stagnant? It involves doing the right thing. Are we putting ethics, if not above profits, at least at the same level of profits? We live in a time when that's so important. So we very intentionally seek partners that have our same core values, and we try to align ourselves with those folks. And we turn down business when they don't meet that standard. We definitely want those partners.
Well, I think I think you should. Yeah. Not everyone's built for the utmost quality of Rostar, right? Unfortunately,
that's right.
You would sure. I mean, jack of all trade, master of nothing. Mm-hmm. But when you start to become, I was reading a book, Remarkable, right? Let's become remarkable at this. And when you start to hold your customers and your partners to that same level, the relationship not only blossoms, financially it starts to blossom. It becomes a very, very, these are the seeds that we've planted and now they're kind of continuing to grow. And as I've learned to get to know Rostar, over the short period of time, is I see that those kind of, that model holds true, right? And I've always said, not everyone's your customer. It shouldn't be. Right. You have to kind of look at it from a strategic perspective, but also a mutual beneficial perspective. If it's very lopsided, then it may not make sense for all involved.
Absolutely.
I want to talk a little bit about, when we start to look at predictability, automotive, well, certain categories are seasonal, right? Mm-hmm. But everybody, when you start to look at your overhead, you start to look at your P&L, like where is our risk in the model? How do you think through the predictability? Is that something that you work with your partners with, or is that an internal piece? What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. The art and the challenge of business is really not so much selling and building and sending invoices. It's planning. Planning is the utmost thing that you can do to improve the way your business runs. For a small company like ours, we do an excellent job of planning. We do an excellent job of planning. We do an excellent job of forecasting. Cabin air filters, they're not seasonal. They're pretty steady.
Well, that's a category that's not seasonal.
Demand kind of stays steady. The things that can upset the apple cart a little bit are supply chain interruptions. And again, mm-hmm. back to made in the USA, yep. We do rely on overseas vendors for some of our raw materials, right? And sure. So that's a challenge. We've got to continually monitor the condition of freight, dock worker strikes, yep. Freight costs, freight transit times. They're they're up and down the board still. As crazy as that is, but
yeah, that's what I think is, what's the saying? Failure to plan is no planning at all, or something like that. I can't recall exactly, but yeah. But I think that's really important. Those are, I think, the core pieces that really are differentiators between a wildly successful, wildly focused, a remarkable path. Mm-hmm. That's something. Just out of curiosity, as we look ahead, and when you look at the changes in our industry, right, we're starting to see a shift back from, everyone's going to go with EV to the kind of the internal combustion engine. Where do you see that kind of side of the business impacting potential of the filter or not? I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, cabin air filters, we're lucky again, because EVs have them. They're not going to go away.
So EVs are full. So this is something in the future.
Oh yeah.
I guess that makes sense because they air conditioned. Everything's coming through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. EVs will continue to have cabin air filters. In fact, the opportunity for us is developing better medias and things that follow more what the OEMs are looking for. Like, tighter efficiencies, better odor control. Some companies are offering the concept of, you won't smell anything at all. And we've got these HEPA filters, much like, your furnace filters might be rated. These are the things that will present opportunities for us as we go forward. And of course, I think it'll be with us for a long, long time. Yeah. EVs are not going anywhere, but I do think this, I haven't really seen the math on it, but I kind of feel like even if EVs take a big percentage of the market over the next 30, 40, 50 years, the vehicle population is growing. So gas vehicles will continue to grow just by virtue of the fact that it's a growing, it's a growing business. Right. Our business is solid for the foreseeable future because there's not going to be any lack of demand for that.
No. When I first got in the automotive, that was really a piece that I was very attracted. I kind of got in it, and I didn't realize I was going to love it so much. It's such a steady business, right? From a business perspective, we're servicing all levels of society, right? From the working single mother to the wealthier family, everyone's having transportation. It's a very exciting time. Rostar Filters. So you guys are booth A6224. Is that correct?
Yep. Second floor.
And when we start to look at folks who are wanting to engage with yourself and your organization, really, who are you looking at kind of growing relationships with, talking with? I mean, obviously, this is a big week. Everyone's here. Sure. Who are you really looking at kind of the type of profile or what are the folks that you are looking to develop?
We absolutely need to grow in the space where we have specialty or warehouse distributors dedicated to a market. I'll give you a couple of examples. We have a couple of customers that are strong in the import segment, which is a segment that I think is, well, it's been reported a growing segment of the aftermarket. We're looking to get closer to those type of folks. We're looking to partner up with warehouse distributors that are specialty, maybe off-road type of individuals, maybe truck, pickup truck, recreational truck. Wouldn't even say that the diesel specialist market is something that we could look at, because we do offer diesel fuel filters as part of our lineup. So we are looking for warehouse distributors in that channel. I do think that e-commerce is something we need to pay attention to.
Sure.
If I'm being honest, we're probably a little bit behind some of our peers in that business. Now, again, Rostar is not a consumer-facing company. As I said at the top, we don't have a brand you would recognize.
Yeah.
It's super important for us to be connected in that level to the consumer. Today, maybe not, but definitely tomorrow, yes, as we go forward and try to grow.
Well, I think every manufacturer, whether you're behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, I've had a lot of conversations. This is a big topic, right? And I think that there's a place for all. You guys sell your product is in a box that is a very wildly successful brand, and many of them. You guys do very well at that. So you're in it, kind of inadvertently, right? Inevitably, you're in it. But I think that I don't think that's anything new. I think you're going to continue to see this conversation happen over the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years. It is where do we think digital is moving? We know technicians are continually getting younger, right? As older ones move, buying behaviors change. We talk a lot about, budgets. We talk a lot about pulling more marketing budget into cataloging. That's a big piece, I think. Those are all small dominoes that, if they're done correctly, I think today, those are nice seeds that you plant maybe for the future, and not just your business, any business, and how obviously you have to, with strategically how you want to approach the market. But I'll say this, Chris, it is absolutely fantastic. This is to have you on the 2W podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Have you on anytime. If you guys have any big product releases or want to come on and talk really about anything, even if it's bad or good, it doesn't matter. We take anything.
Okay. I might take you up on that.
We really want to bring the kind of raw kind of part of an industry out. We're going to talk to great leaders and really understand, how do you move the future? What do you do? We want to kind of be there with it and push it. So, but I'll tell you, any folks here at AAPEX, Rostar Filters, booth A6226, meet your boy Chris. He's an awesome guy. He's probably one of the best looking guys actually at AAPEX. He was given that award last night, I think, at the opening reception, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the closing when all the beers were served. But yeah, okay. Yeah.
Awesome, folks. This is awesome. This is 2W podcast. We're the voice of the industry.